about that time. You're rocking with your boy Damo Unleashed and Sky Black on the Nashville Caveman podcast. Stay tuned.
Hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. I gotta turn up this function like I'm in the Lotus and punch it. All I'm gonna ask is stay in your lane and you won't be food for my luncheon. I'm coming up out of the dungeon, cooking up plans to make something from nothing. And since I secured the bag, it's time to do math, so I'ma keep hustling. I thought I had lost my way or something. I am not feeling what they say is busting. They keep us trapping this way, disgusting. If you so happen to catch me flexing, I could be killing the straps all day for learning how to install some chromic crystals on the Escalade. Matching the arm that's on my sternum. I am for the sake of the people. Grabbing my Glock and pray to the Lord, cause not everybody tryna be peaceful. I still hope we set the stage for showing them how it's supposed to be, so those that's close to me won't have to ask, hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. Hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. Hey, what you got in that bag? Let me explain what I'm talking about. Had a joint called down about it. Letting these loud mouths know how to move without sound. Best if we don't even shout out. Midwest, east, west, down south, till we get even or even above. Till then we gon' opt out and educate on the backside. Folk that act right and they won't backslide. Just put it together no matter the weather, my brother. So hey, if you dealing with vices in you and it's cutting you up like against you, put it on chill for real, or they gon' just use it against you. You got in that bag. Quiet water.
What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Nashville Caveman podcast. I am your host, Damo Unleashed, man. We are back for another Tuesday. Glad to have you guys here. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and take the time to roll out the red carpet for a friend that's like a brother to me. So the floor is now yours.
Hello, everybody. You know it's Tuesday. It is the Nashville Caveman podcast, right? Tuesday is the best day of the week because of this show. So we're going to have a great show. We want everybody to listen, share, subscribe, and comment because we are live on a lot of platforms. Usually I come on and I try my best to, be spruced up like Mr. Damo. But today, well, not today, but this weekend will mark 1 year that I have been the champion. Y'all can see behind me, the cup is behind me.
I seen that. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I decided to wear the Inhumane Championship shirt today. So last year, Paragon, Arkansas, the odds was against me to be the first ever Highlander champion. Now hope the odds are with me this Saturday. Paragon, Arkansas. I go and defend the championship that I've been holding on for 1 whole year. So if you're in the Arkansas area, come down there, go on the Inhumane Championship Wrestling Facebook page to get more information. Shouts out to everybody that's going to be down there. It's going to be a great show. So that's what's happening this Saturday. Last weekend, I was in Illinois. I was in Ridgeway, Illinois, and then Enfield, Illinois. So Friday was Ridgeway, Saturday was Enfield, Illinois. Shout out to everybody in Ridgeway, Illinois that had like a little county fair where we wrestled in. And then everybody that was in Enfield, Illinois, thank y'all for coming out watching us wrestle. And next month, I think we'll be in Sims, Illinois. So just keep up with Redneck Championship Wrestling to find out what Sky Black and the rest of the superstars will be. Tonight, the D-Bling Radio Show on offtopradio.com. That is offtopradio.com. Remember, artists, if you have music and you want radio play, just send it to me. sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com. And then we stream on offtoprecords.net. That is offtoprecords.net. And don't forget, for your promos and marketing and music video playing and music played in the background, hit up Mr. Damo. And where are we standing at with the Soul Driven Awards this year?
I'm waiting to get artists in. I'm waiting to get artists in right now. I'm trying to find local artists to get in. So, and to be honest, that is not as working as well as some of the other things we got working well. But and like I said, I'm not chasing artists, man. I'm not chasing artists to give them an award or to give them money. Either you serious or not. So,
right.
But yeah, they can send them music to me. We are looking for artists to interview, to promote. I mean, it's free promotion on multiple platforms right now. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I'm on TikTok also. And what platforms are you connected to right now?
I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
So yeah, so you're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So right now we are on a total of 5 platforms. At least 2 of them, man, you and I are connected to. So, and I'm not chasing people, to do interviews.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So,
I don't blame you.
But y'all, this week, man.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Congratulations, me and Sky's team played this week. Last week, I don't even think we noticed that. We only talked a little bit about the NFL. I think we were having trouble getting in. But his team and mine played this week, and it was one of the game of the week.
Yeah.
I was sad, but I wasn't able to watch that one. But I was able to watch the other game of the week was the Giants and the Cowboys, which was a phenomenal game. Oh, my God, I've never seen an ending like that.
Right.
So, and only one that would have topped it would have been ours because, me being a fan of the Indianapolis Colts, you being a fan of the Denver Broncos, man, 2 solid teams. And I think I was telling you last week, I was like, I wanted to see, because I know what we did to Miami. But I think the real test to see if we were serious in any way would have been playing y'all. And had we even lost that, I still kind of feel like, okay, our team is better than I thought it was going to be.
Right. That Giant game, to me, that they should have won that. You pay Russell Wilson all his money. He fumbles the ball. Nobody touches him. It just falls out of his hands, one. And then he throws an interception. Who was he throwing that ball to? That went straight into the Cowboys' hand. Wasn't no receiver out there whatsoever. So, no, that is no excuse for that one.
Well, I got to put a lot of that blame on Gabe. Because there's no way that he makes a bomb like that, a touchdown, and you play prevent defense. The only thing prevent defenses have ever stopped is prevented teams from winning. That's why I'm guessing they call it prevent defense, because it will prevent you from winning. And that's what it did. You know what I'm saying? What they should have did is they should have kept playing defense the way they have been playing defense all game long, and you live and you die with the way that your team is playing defense. Why would you change the defense? Because it's the last drive? It's beyond me.
I don't either. Yeah.
I'm with you.
If you can figure that out, why can't these coaches making millions of dollars not figure that out, right?
Right. Which I don't get. These guys are paid because they are, quote unquote, the smartest minds in the game. And then they make decisions that we scratching our head like, what? Why do you do that? So, but it was a good game, man. I think both our teams gonna have a great season. Y'all, we got a serious topic. This last week we had the show on Tuesday. On Wednesday, one of the most historical moments I think in our time, man, we witnessed. And I think what made it even more powerful is because now you got cameras. The JFK stuff, when that happened, we had to wait for it to be uploaded, the television stations to record that. Actually, I think that was the last event that happened in real time. Because if I remember not, that was a live event. He was in some kind of parade or whatever, and that was a live televised event. But I think this one was much more gruesome, man.
Yeah.
This one was like straight out of a movie. And I think the aftermath was just as shocking as the event itself. So we gonna go ahead and lay out a timeline. I think a lot of people, the danger of news media and the internet now is people's ability to clip narratives. So they'll show you a clip and people will not get the full context of what was said. And they'll take a clip and they'll run with it and form an opinion on a person based off of information they got from a clip. Instead of going and doing their own due diligence and doing their own research, I think, man, a lot of people are very lazy when it comes to research. But y'all know how we do. Before we go ahead and get into that, y'all know we like to represent indie artists. I would advise y'all, because I got to show y'all some stuff, man. I wish, I was telling Sky before we started broadcasting, I was like, I wish I could have put absolutely everything, laid it out for y'all to see it all. But unfortunately, man, I'm only allowed to store so much video. But I have been collecting video all week. So we're going to go ahead and get to some music. When we come back, we're going to dive right into the life and death of Charlie Kirk.
I just want to give a shout out to Caveman. Yeah. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Caveman. Thank you for watching. I know you got to get back to work. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. All right, y'all watching the Nashville Caveman podcast. We'll be back in 1 second. While we are playing this video, if y'all can share the live, we will really, really appreciate it.
I'm on a roll, it's out of control. They watching, the people want to show. Am I gonna fumble? Am I gonna fall? I gotta let them know. Can't stop this flow.
You gon' know my hunger, you gon' know my name. Never did I make it, oh boy, I was a lame. I'm telling y'all stories so y'all can know my pain. And I'ma need a straight jack, I'm finna go insane. Like every day I stayed up, trying to be the best out. Looking at me downfield, trying to run the best route. But you know these corners, man, had to put a curl in. All I do is fail, and I'm looking for my first win. Always fucking broke, I just wish that I can touch green. Trying to lead the hood, cause you know that I can do without. Gotta put my family on, you know that I can't do without. Can't stop, won't stop, baby, that's what this all about, yeah.
I'm on a roll, it's out of control. They watching, the people wanna show. Am I gonna fumble? Am I gonna fall? I gotta let them know. Can't stop this flow. Can't stop this glow. I'm about to blow. Can't stop this. Can't stop this. Can't stop this flow. No, 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 no. Can't stop this flow.
Can't stop, won't stop, gotta keep going. These niggas sleeping on me, so let them keep snoring. The best rap alive, and I gotta keep flowing. I'm pulling up like step, man, I gotta keep scoring. And losing not an option, I learned to be a better me. Best rap alive, and y'all others just a letter B. You trying to ride my wave, and these niggas trying to copy me. Wanted that alive, then you know these rappers dead to me. Second place, nigga, that's the best that they can ever be. Can't stop, won't stop, boy, you know I'm the recipe. Running the game for too long, think that I can give it up. Told y'all what a life I'm living, you know I had to live it up, yeah.
I'm on a roll, it's out of control. They watching, the people wanna show. Am I gonna fumble? Am I gonna fall? I gotta let them know. Can't stop this flow. Can't stop this glow. I'm about to blow. Can't stop this. Can't stop this. Can't stop this flow. No, 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 no. Can't stop this flow. No, 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 no. Can't stop this flow.
right, y'all. We back, man. Y'all are tuned in to the Nashville Caveman podcast. We want to go ahead and take this. I think, man, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was like, it's historical. In my opinion, and, everybody entitled to their own opinions, but it's like losing the Martin Luther King Jr. of our day, right? So basically, Charlie Kirk was at one of his regular debate tours at a college in Utah, and a coward from 2 football fields away got on the top of a roof with a single shot and took his life. Okay, it was a part. Let me tell you, man. One disturbing thing that I seen, right? 2 of them. One was a man. As soon as it happened, a man stood up when everybody else got down. A man stood up cheering, which is bad. It just show you, man, just the decency, how low or how much people lack decency. So a guy stood up, started cheering. Another head scratcher moment was there was this young black dude that jumps over the barricade. He grabs the Trump hats on the table while a dude's laying there, and he's taking hats, throwing them out to the crowd. No regard for this dude just not losing his life, right? Now, I want to start this off with showing y'all this. We got to start holding politics. We really got to politics responsible, or politicians responsible for the things that come out of their mouth, right? Mm-hmm. I want to go ahead and show y'all how one side talk about how they are not violent. They always say y'all they not violent, but I'm gonna show y'all, man, video of them literally promoting violence. And I think the reason why that event really bothered me, and Sky, I'm gonna let you go ahead and chime in on this. Me and Sky, we do a podcast. And a lot of times, and Sky can vouch for this, I've said things I know for sure that people do not like. They get real upset about it. I got a whole family. So just because I said something that you don't agree with or you don't like, my life is worth taking. That happened in front of his wife and kids. I don't know if a lot of people knew this. His wife and kids, and the kids are under the age of 5, were in the front row. So could you imagine? I'm at an event, and that's Demo right there. That's the dude that said this, and that. And then you just come and somebody take my life, because rather than come up and have a dialect with me, they don't agree with what I say. And so, because that can happen to any of us. There are people out here that deranged where they don't like what you say, and rather than, because that's what Charlie Kirk's whole movement was about. It was open dialogue. He had his beliefs, but he had an open mic where anybody could come up and debate him one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's what happens when people can't win a debate, is they get violent. But that could, I was sitting there thinking like, man, that's something literally that can happen to me and Scott.
Yep. You take a chance when you get yourself out there.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. You take a chance when you put yourself out there. I mean, anybody can get shot on any given day for no reason. But when you put yourself out there, you're giving your opposition more ammunition to want to do it, So, but I feel bad because whether I agree or disagree, I always respect the dead. So I feel bad for his wife and kids, and not only that, his family, his wife's family. I mean, for me, I just believe, first of all, you say he was 2 football fields away. Do you know what type of training you would have to do to shoot somebody 2 football fields away? So this man either had military training or he had somebody around him to teach him how to do that. And 2, The video I saw, it never showed the bullet hitting the guy, but it showed the guy behind him rubbing his arm, and it was like that was the signal.
I seen that video.
So it could be. I don't want to be lying on live, but it could have been an inside job.
You know what? I seen a video where the guy, I seen a video of the guy standing behind them giving off signals. They're giving off military signals. And I also seen the video of a gentleman that was to his left that actually, and you can see something like, you know how somebody has something in their pocket and they fire? Yeah, that scenario. And that, the way his shirt went, that's very possible that could have been the case too. That dude could have been a decoy. Because people said, well, why would he do that? Man, why would, people strap, bombs to their body and go and stand in front of the crowd? I mean, nothing makes sense in the world anymore. People do crazy stuff all the time.
All the time.
Hey, they do it all the time. But what, Sky? I definitely wanted to get to, and I just want to show y'all this video. Me and Sky, we're going to talk about this because I think that we need to have some kind of law to start holding not only these politicians, but these media figures responsible. I think they got blood on their hands when they talk this kind of stuff, and this stuff is real dangerous, y'all. So without further ado, this is the popular Jasmine Crockett. Just pay attention to this crap that come out of her mouth, and this show, man, how deceptive a lot of these politicians are.
So don't get mad that I speak the truth and I speak facts, but I literally have never said anything to invoke violence, and I challenge somebody to go and find a clip of a Democrat invoking violence. But it's Ted Cruz. I mean, this dude has to be knocked over the head, hard, right? There is no niceties with him.
But this is a war. This isn't a battle. And we absolutely will win this war.
It is a war. It is indeed a war. And I have to say, they have won some battles, Jasmine, but we have to keep our eye on the war, and everybody needs to pick up a weapon and get involved, because this is a...
Violence doesn't come from Democrats, just to be clear. It is MAGA. It's specifically MAGA faction.
Please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
I want you to stay angry.
I will go and take Trump out.
He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
Although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying.
Violence doesn't come from Democrats, just to be clear. It is MAGA. It's specifically MAGA faction.
Biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
I'm going to shorten this, right? Because this is when I say that people have been duped and manipulated, and you got to be careful and you got to do your own research, because I want y'all to look at this. Every right, the majority of rights people of color have isn't because of Democrats. Now, this is where what they teach y'all in school and who has control over the school system is very important, because this stuff that y'all see that we got posted up here, this is the stuff that they don't really teach y'all. They didn't teach us. And if you don't have parents that sit you down and say, no, that history is wrong. This is where when you leave other people to teach your kids, you don't have a clue. And you are absolutely ignorant when it comes to politics. The 13th Amendment abolished state slavery, 100% Republican report at the time when it was voted on, 23% Democratic support. The 14th Amendment gave citizenships to free slaves. 94% Republican support. And then we got the 15th, which is what they cry about all the time, the 15th Amendment, which is the right to vote for all people to vote. 100% Republican support, absolute goose egg Democrat support. Now, when you see this stuff, people may ask, well, why is it, if that's true, why do the majority of the, especially our community, the black community, support Democrats? Because, man, they say the party switched. No. The violence that I just showed y'all that they promote, right? Because she said, we're not the party of violence. The same violence that they said they don't promote, we sat here and watched them promote that violence. That is no different than how liberals were 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago. This is no different. And the crazy part is Hollywood try to, they try to show us this every now and then, and it just goes over people's heads.
Right.
They put out movies every now and then to show this stuff. You never see that, at that time, liberals had the best interest of black folks. The Jim Crow, man, the KKK, even a lot of these crime bills and stuff, a lot of this stuff was, segregation. They voted against segregation. If it was up to Democrats, if they had their way, we still would only have colored only and white only bathrooms and restaurants and fountains and stuff like that. It would be cities you couldn't go to. So I wanted to show y'all that part because the media, they don't never show y'all this. If y'all don't go and y'all don't do your own research, y'all will never see a lot of these stuff. And I had another video that's even more telling. I think I'm going to post it on my page. So if y'all follow me on Facebook, I'm going to post it on my page because it got like a good 2-3 minutes from Maxine Waters to people that represent, the House of Representatives, to senators, to governors, to media members, just like promoting violence on a whole nother level. They literally telling people to go out and do harm to people that God believes different than their own. Now that we got to that, and Sky, before I even move on, I wanted to see if you wanted to add anything or if you had any thought to add to that.
Well, I mean, I just believe over time things and people change. In each party, there is a part that's a sub party that probably that doesn't agree with the whole party, right? So even the Democrats today, even if they're saying they're progressive, there might be a part of the Democratic Party that still feels like this thing you just showed. And so same thing with the Republicans. The Republican parties might feel one way, but then you might have the magma part of the party that's like, okay, we want to be Republicans, but we think this way. So I think over time, you're always going to have a subgroup of people that's either going to feel differently or feel like things should stay the same and not change. But to me, it's more of, it's the people. Everybody always say the government is for the people, by the people. But if you're worried about greedy politicians or people doing things that's not letting you grow or have your amendments or right to vote or right to do anything, then you either need to start running for these positions or start voting for people you feel like is going to have your back. Because young people just don't vote like they used to. But then they get upset when 70-year-old people are in Washington, D.C. or in their state making laws for 23-year-old people. Well, then you need to do something about it. So that's just the whole I take on all of it. And then to piggyback off of what you said earlier, again, my thoughts and prayers go out to his family, his friends, and his loved ones. And to anybody that has an opinion that's going to go on a circuit about their opinion, no matter what you're talking about, you have to be careful because he was on the campus. Where was the security at? That security, like he had a lot of security. They should have had local police out there roaming the area. If he was that controversial, they should have had more people out there. Hell, they should have had it to the point where if the guy could shoot from 2 football fields away, that he was not going to hit that man. It's just like, to me, the way he was sitting, like he was a normal college student. Like, this man is not a normal college student. You know what he talks about, and it could evoke violence from certain people. I just believe he should have been well more protected than what he was.
What I'm shocked about, I think my biggest question is, was somebody who is that, influential, I think he played a big part in Trump actually getting in for a second term. Why weren't there drones?
That's what I'm saying. Why weren't there more?
Like, we got all this technology and we got such a powerful figure. Why weren't there drones out? Because if you don't have the personnel, I don't understand why, at least for a 5-mile radius on rooftops, they should have, officials that actually job is to make sure from long distances there's nobody on rooftops. All buildings that's within a certain proximity, you can't enter. So that means that nobody can get in and be at a window aiming. I think this stuff needs to be planned out far. And then I think we're getting to a point now where a lot of these figures, before an event happens, they just need to be in front of bulletproof glass.
Mm-hmm.
I think the time of just being open, but I understand because he's having a debate, so it kind of feel weird having some kind of glass there in front of you and you trying to have dialogue. I think the thing with him is he kind of expected, and he kind of knew this is what comes with the territory. Mm-hmm. So I think as far as he goes, I think he was kind of expecting this. Like he knew this came with the territory.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure him and his camp was thinking that if you piss somebody off in the crowd or local, we can see it coming. I'm not saying he didn't have any detail. I'm just saying I'm with you why they didn't have drones and stuff. Because if you think about it, you're on a college campus, you're talking to mostly people who feel the way you do. Nobody in their right mind would have thought somebody was going to shoot you from 2 football fields away. Like that the chances of that happening is kind of slim, but it does happen, right? So at the end of the day, I do believe that they did enough to protect them. I'm just saying, moving forward, do what you just said, drones, 2-3 miles out, tall buildings, check all those things like that. Because that would have been, if you would have said somebody in the crowd would have shot him or ran up on him and shot him, I see that. But damn, 2 football fields away, come on now.
Right. And this the other part that I want to show y'all, right? Because a lot of people say, well, he was racist. And I think, even though I clipped some, I want to give y'all, because I don't know if you actually watched any of his debates.
I didn't know who he was. He got shot.
So I want y'all to watch. I've got actually in 2 parts because it was like 9 minutes worth. It wouldn't even allow me to upload the whole. So here's the debates, and I'm gonna break them down in the context. The biggest one was the one where he was talking about black pilots, which a lot of people took offense to. So I'm gonna show y'all what he actually said in the debate, and then we're gonna break it down in the context. And then we're going to move on to the aftermath of what happened after, right? So I'm going to play y'all part 1, and we're going to break up part 1. Actually, I'm going to do part 2 first.
Oh, this is old. This is in the past. This doesn't affect you anymore.
Okay, so let's take a different group. How did the Holocaust impact Jews? They're doing pretty well.
Well, because they got reparations, we didn't.
How? What reparations did the Jews get?
Through acknowledgement, through money, through
we acknowledge slavery happened.
Okay, but But you're sitting here and acting like it plays no role.
No,
now.
but to your argument, the Holocaust was 80 years ago. Half of all the Jews on the planet were killed. Everything they earned was taken. Jews are doing great. If all of a sudden something that happened 80 years ago impacts your material prosperity, how did Jews defy the curve? How did poor Asians do so well? Why is it that Asians are now the wealthiest minority in America, many of whom came with no money in the 1950s or 60s?
Because of the culture and opportunities that were provided to them.
But you're not hearing me out. Black Americans have had the same opportunities. However,
people still look at us like criminals every day.
Hold on, but like, I don't look at you like a criminal.
I'm not saying you do, I'm saying some people do.
But I mean, do you want me to be brutally honest with you, or do you want me to be politically correct?
Brutally honest with you.
Okay, do black people commit more crimes than white people? It's not even close.
Okay, but you have to take into account the culture that has been perpetuated.
Okay, got it. So we can agree on this. Do you mean internal black culture?
It's deeper than that. Like,
do you think, let's take time out. Do you think the average rap artist that a black kid in the hood is listening to is glorifying marriage and family and saving your money?
That's what sells because it's a culture thing. It's not just within the black community.
I agree. No, but hold on.
Everyone listens to it. It's not just isolated.
It's bad for everyone who listens to it. The point being is that black youth, as they are being raised, their role models are largely not glorifying staying with one woman, getting married, going to church. And if you're wrong, show me the black role models that are doing that. There might be a couple I could think of, maybe. But if it's about culture, you're right. The internal black culture has collapsed the last 60 years. We're no longer elevating the family. We're no longer elevating staying with the person that you're with. So our contention here as conservatives is that the systemic racism stuff is a bunch of rubbish. Instead, it's systemic bad choices.
Do you feel that systemic racism isn't real?
Of course not. What can I do that you can't do? Name it.
Okay.
No, seriously. What can I do that you can't do?
Fallacy. That's a slippery slope.
No, it's not.
I don't know why.
Very simple. No, because back in 1940, you would have been able to answer that question. Well, Charlie, there's a bathroom over there that I can't go to. There's a major league team.
I can't walk into the grocery store and get the same looks that you do. I walked into Brookshire Brothers a couple of weeks ago and I was looked at
like I was a criminal. That's an insanely hyper-paranoid way of living life. That's not evidence, right?
It's a real example.
By the way, if I walk into a black neighborhood, I get bad looks too, okay? So I don't know what the contention is.
Because of the way you treat our culture and the way you perpetuate.
Oh, wait, hold on. The way we treat your culture, we have calisthenics and ridiculous gymnastics to prove that we're not racist. In fact, it's the worst thing that you could be called in America. We had, during George Floyd 2020, we had hundreds of millions of dollars given to Black Lives Matter. I don't know where that money went. Did it improve material worth of black America? So, I mean, and we actually do know where it went, actually. And so, but going back to your main contention, when you practice DEI, because that was your main point, right? You are rewarding bad culture. You even acknowledge it. You are saying that someone should be there based on the color of their skin. We say skin color doesn't matter. If you want that position, work harder.
All right. So that's one of his, actually I have 3 parts. So we're going to break that down, right? Now, a lot of people take offense to that because, man, just to be honest, in our culture, there is no accountability, right? It's just like what's taking place in Chicago now. We all hear how violent Chicago is. Over the Labor Day weekend, 54, people got hit with lead. 7 of them lost their life. And the leadership, that goes back to what you were saying, Sky. It's important as far as like who you vote in as your mayor and governor, because they're like, we don't need no National Guard. What do we need the National Guard for? We need funds. They've been getting funds all these years and nothing is getting better. They're saying statistically things are getting better, but if you ask the residents that live in these certain parts, they'll tell you things can't get better, they're getting worse. I'm afraid to sit out on my porch. I'm afraid to go out at this certain time. I'm afraid to go out in this certain area. And they will not accept any National Guard help, even though they've seen how much in DC, crime has went down drastically. And the mayor there didn't even want that help. So a lot of it is, man, accountability, and a lot of it is our culture. I mean, let's be honest. Think about some of the biggest sports figures we got, like LeBron James. LeBron James, we can all agree, is a hell of a father. He's a great father. Do you know the impact? He could have a much bigger impact if he simply talked about the importance of men raising their kids. You know how many young men look up to LeBron? So if he spoke that and you seeing it in real time, how much value and power that can have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's true. I on the video you just played, he's right about rappers and things like that, but they're rapping about where they come from and what they see every day. So let's just take away media, let's take away music, let's take away television, let's take away the internet. There will always be people in this world that don't want to settle down, be married, have a family, have kids. All they want to do every day is make money and sleep with a bunch of women. That's it. Because it's been happening since the beginning of the time. Kings had multiple wives. Princes had multiple wives. If you had stature or money, you had your wife and many other women to choose from every day. So we will never eradicate that culture because it's been going on since the beginning of time. Now, is having a family, a two-parent home, getting educated, making money, being a productive citizen a better way forward? Yes. But I can't say one is what word I'm trying to use. I can't say one person is better than the other. I always tell folks we all human. We all came to this world the same way. What's up, Malfunction? And we all got to die. So you can't knock one person for how they feel and believe and knock another person. So for the young black man, I can't knock the way he feels and believe, but I can't knock Kirk the way he feels and believe neither. You're always going to have that division moving forward on what life should be and what America should be. But I'm just thinking this is where everybody's bumping heads, is because it's like I'm better than you or you better than me because of how we're living. No, we all gonna have to just respect each other. As long as what you do and believe don't interfere with this, and what they do and believe don't interfere with that, that's the way I look at life. But could I wish more rappers were more like Common, Nas, people like that just rap LL Cool J, Will Smith? Of course. But you're going to just have that subculture of people, even if music or videos didn't exist, is going to live that life.
I think he said something that's very powerful, and I don't even think he realized what he said. He said that they're just rapping about what they seen in life. Okay, well, if that's true, because being an artist myself, that also had put out that kind of content that he's talking about. So I'm not, I'm not, innocent of that. He's absolutely right. We do celebrate violence and everything that's wrong with the world. But that being said, I think that we got to get to a point that we can't keep blaming white folks for everything. We got to be accountable. Right. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I think that the biggest point is we experience a lot of things in life. We used to rap, we used to do music about that stuff. And it changed, right? And we allowed it because we buy the stuff. If we don't buy the stuff, guess what? They quit making. So we're the ones that bought into, that we don't like the way music is now. Well, we're the consumer. They won't sell it if we don't buy it.
That's true.
So are we gonna keep blaming everybody? We are accountable. I think the biggest thing and the most frustrating thing to me when it comes to anything is we aren't accountable. We got excuses for everything. We just need to get to the point where we say, you know what, that person is right. When they said that, yes, a lot of men do not have fathers in their lives, and that's a problem. It's a problem with a girl that don't have continue to keep recreating the same scenarios that ain't been working for the last 60 years. Before I move on, I just want to make this point. When we was going through all that, slavery, because they got mad at somebody for saying this, but they were absolutely right. When we went through Jim Crow, when we went through segregation, when we went through slavery, we actually were thriving against all odds. Imagine going through that and you still got your family intact. And you still got, businesses and, you own homes and this and this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we, for whatever reason, we just go ahead and we just don't be accountable. We did better back then. It's like the more freedom we got, the worse off we got. And I think we need to sit down and, as families, as individual families, and ask this question. Why? Why is it that now we can go anywhere we want, we can do anything we want to do, and I think we are concerned with people liking us? Man, I don't give a damn who like me or not. I'm quite sure, I can't really speak for Sky, but knowing Sky, man, Sky, you a good dude. You ain't gonna, look, man, you are who you are. No. You can't please everybody.
You sure can't.
Why are we concerned? And why are we concerned with, well, they looked at me. Is that what we had? That's little kid stuff. That's little kid stuff. I don't care how you look at me. That's a you problem. That's something within yourself. You need to fix. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right. I mean, you just have to accept the consequences of your actions, right? If you the type of rapper that raps about like no limit and cash money type stuff, then there's pros and cons in it. If you the Common and Nas and Will Smith type rapper, there's pros and cons in it, right? So even in everyday life, if your life is all about standing on the corner, selling drugs, smoking weed, and having different babies by different baby mamas, there's pros and cons. And if your life is all about going to church every Sunday, having 10 kids by one woman, being raised in a Christian household, there's pros and cons about that. I just feel that we can spend better time trying to help those that want to be helped than arguing with each other, because you're not going to change that black guy's mind, and that black guy wasn't going to change Kirk's mind. It's sort of like Trump. If you for Trump, you're not going to change that person's mind. If you against Trump, you're not going to waste my time trying to change somebody's mind that is not going to be changed.
But I think he said something, I don't have the video, he would say it all the time in his debates. The moment you stop having conversation, that's when violence occurs.
Well, but that's crazy. He was having a conversation when violence occurred to him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Damo. What incites more violence? You talking and having the conversation, or you not having the conversation? Because that man was trying to have a conversation and got killed in broad daylight.
I tell you what, that's when you figure out who is really powerful, right? Because take Charleston White, for example. Nobody is coming for Charleston White. You know why nobody is coming from Charleston White? Because Charleston White don't really have the impact on people. As smart as he is, the troll part of him will never have anybody coming after Charleston White, because who's following Charleston White? But when you have somebody like that person that can change the thinking and the minds of people, people gonna come after that. Like Martin Luther King Jr., like Malcolm X. You know who's really influential and who's really powerful when they come for your life. Because they ain't coming for the life of a person who don't have no impact on anybody, or who are leading sheep. If you're leading sheep, they're not coming after you. They're coming after people who are changing the minds of sheep. Well, you got some, that's who they come after. So I want y'all to keep that in mind.
If you're giving people hope, that's what they're coming for. That's what they're coming for. Absolutely, But you're right now. Man, you need to go back to communication. But in this world, sometimes communication, as we're talking about, can get you killed. So whether you're quiet, you can die. Whether you talking, you can die. It's just what are you willing to die for? As the old folks, you say, what are you willing to fall on your sword for? You know, back in the Roman days, what are you willing to fall on your sword for? And there you go.
You know what? He said something that was very powerful, and I knew he stood on, he knew that this can happen to him. He said that every year there needs to be a couple of gun deaths in order for us to be able to continue to have gun rights.
Mm-hmm.
And how ironic that's what took him out.
Mm-hmm.
So he really believed that. I think if you could bring it back, he would do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these, Malcolm, Martin, I think if you brought them back, they'd do it all over again. Because, man, they really change people's minds and make people think, make you analyze life. That was just one of Charlie Kirk's debates. I know a lot of people aren't really familiar with him, so it was important. So here's another one of his debates that I wanted to go ahead and get into. I think this one is powerful too. So without further ado.
Yeah, so last year you said something about DEI, unqualified black pilots. You see a pilot on a black pilot. Don't you think it was an irresponsible statement suggesting that maybe these pilots aren't qualified or unqualified?
No, but I'll tell you exactly what I said and why I said it.
Okay, go ahead.
I said the pretext. I went through a whole windup. I said United Airlines is saying that they want 40% of all their pilots to be people of color or women. We have learned that we have relaxed standards anytime that we try to reach racial quotas. Anytime we reach racial quotas, we relax the standards. Standards for air traffic control, professors, or college admissions. Therefore, when it comes to pilots or surgeons, if I see somebody who is black, as I said on the show, I'm going to hope that person is qualified. That's what I said, which of course is legitimate because they're begging the question, we're not hiring based on merit anymore. We're hiring based on race.
Now,
So when you see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? That's what DEI does. It makes you ask questions you otherwise would not ask.
So the airline industry is going to take an unqualified person just based off diversity.
Underqualified, not
correction, yeah.
Underqualified.
Unqualified, underqualified, whatever, uncertified, and put them in a cockpit and risk people's lives?
Those are two different things. Under and un are two different things. Of course, United Airlines will not take someone off the side of the street and put them into a pilot. But in order to reach a 40% goal, they might cut corners, they might accelerate the process in order to reach a goal. We know this through all sorts of DEI examinations and projects over the last 10 years. You have to choose in life. Either excellence or racial quotas will end up being the most important. And both cannot simultaneously exist. It's never happened before.
Okay, so when we talk about DEI, well, who benefits the most? Because black people really don't. It's only like maybe 3 to 4% of black people actually benefit from those programs. So who benefits the most?
So he didn't ask that. He didn't get the video didn't play long enough for him to ask that. If I could tell y'all, the people that have been to benefit the most from DEI from that is white liberal women. It ain't even black women. White liberal women or white women, man, benefit more from DEI than any other. White men, black women. Latino men, Latino women. First and foremost. Second of all, he said something in another debate, and because they asked him about this frequently, and I thought this was the perfect thesis of what he was saying. So I'm gonna put this in a context where it makes sense to y'all. So the NBA, it used to be majority white before it integrated. Now it's majority black. So it's probably right now at about 70-75% black, 25 to 30% white, right? White/up. Now, what DEI does for the people that don't understand the context of what DEI is they come in and they say, hey, we think you guys are being unfair to the Chinese or the Asian community. So what we need y'all to do is y'all need to make the league half and half. So that means, man, 50%, maybe, 50% black and white, 50% Asian. So if they did that, would that make the league better?
No.
If they just said based on color rather than, on skill, because then that means that there will be qualified, athletic, skilled black players that couldn't get in because you can only let so many in. And so, they said, no, we're pushing Asians to play.
Right.
Wouldn't it be better?
Right. To me, it's a DEI and affirmative action is just another way of politicking, right? Because let's just say those things didn't exist. So, Damo, in your working life, there's positions and things you might not have gotten, whether you was qualified or not, because somebody said, hey, we don't have enough of this, or we don't have enough of that. We already got 4 black managers. If we hire Damo, he'll be the 5th black manager. Now we need a woman or an Asian person. So I think all this was kind of going on in the dark before DEI and affirmative action and all this stuff came about. It's just now it's hitting us in the face. The backdoor politics is now just coming out into the public. So whether you're for DEI or whether you're against it, I see both ways, because he's right. If I'm in a plane, I want the most qualified pilots. I don't care about race, color. I don't even care if they're the biggest whore in Texas. Can they fly this plane? I don't care if they believe in God or not. Can they fly the plane? But what you're doing is saying, well, the unemployment is high. And most of the unemployment is black people. So we need to put in this and that to hopefully lower the unemployment for black people so they can get jobs. Okay, the intent is good. I got you. But if black people ain't qualified to fly planes, what difference does it make? If you're putting DEI here and not DEI here where most black people are qualified, then what's the difference?
Have y'all noticed that in the last some odd years since they've created this, we've had more plane crashes, more frequent plane crashes? Sky, do you ever remember a time when we were young, before, DEI, that we seen so many planes falling out the sky? I'm talking about American
Not really.
planes. So this is the danger of DEI. And I agree with you with this. I think DEI served a purpose in a point in time. I don't think that point in time is now anymore. I think that point in time was in the 60s, right? When they were just now implementing civil rights and all that stuff. I think it served its time then.
Right.
Do that stuff serve its time now? Hell no.
But you know what I feel?
No,
even back then, Damo, even if you told black people, hey, we're going to have a funnel or a tunnel for you to become a pilot and make good money, if it ain't in them, it ain't in them. How many places you can go in the hood and they say, oh, I want to be a pilot when I grow up. So you're going to force black people or force these airlines to hire black people that don't even want to be a pilot. But then you're going to force them to go to pilot schools to be pilots so you can meet a racial quota. That is dangerous.
It not only is it dangerous, right? But it's like, I want to play basketball, but I can't be Kyrie Irving to save my life. I'm sorry. I can't be LeBron James to save my life. I don't care what kind of camps you put me through, how many hours you make me stay on that basketball court. I just ain't made to be LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, or Steph Curry for that point, right? I wanted to make this point too. DEI is also racist. To both people, to both sides, black and white. Because what it's saying is, black people, y'all not smart enough to pass these tests and qualify for this. And it's also saying, white people, we know y'all qualified, but because you're not black, you can't get this position.
Right.
We're really being racist to both sides.
Yeah. It's people sometimes on both ends using racism as a crutch. If it ain't in you to do it, it just ain't in you to do it. And I don't want no cheat code way, especially you talking about surgeons and all this other stuff. You don't know cutting on you, cutting your brain or cutting through to your heart or doing any of this stuff, who was just a C+ student in that field, and because of DEI, they got a job that an A+ student couldn't get. Now you talking about malpractice lawsuits all over the damn place because they weren't supposed to be there. No.
Could you wake up Could you imagine you going to sleep and you expecting to get arm surgery? You wake up and your penis is where your arm should be at? Man, hell nah, man. Y'all better get somebody qualified to work on me,
Right.
god dang it.
Yeah.
I don't care what y'all talking about. Y'all fools crazy. I'm glad not only they've done away with DEI, but the Board of Education. It's long overdue that they should give that funding to the state and let the state decide what they want to teach in the curriculum. Because I think, man, they dumbing these kids down, man. These kids dumb as rocks. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Here go another one, man. I thought that was a pretty unique because they saying he racist based on that. Based on that, you know, people call him racist. Now, you know, so far, man, for the most part, I've been agreeing with a lot of this stuff he's saying. And I don't agree with 100% of anybody. Anybody. But if you can get me to agree to the majority of what you say, and I got common sense, it is what it is. Even if I don't, I ain't gonna take your life over it. I ain't gonna, you can have whatever opinion you had, man. I think your results gonna speak for themselves. Here go another one.
If you had the opportunity, you would get rid of the Civil Rights Act?
No, I think you should have a one-page bill that says that racial discrimination based on race is illegal and will not be tolerated in the United States of America. Most black Americans don't support is men and female sports. Would you agree?
Hell no.
Yeah, I know. No, for sure, right? Believe it or not, the Civil Rights Act is now being used to keep men playing in women's sports. So the Civil Rights Act was used to help black America originally. Totally get that. But now the way it was written is that any claim of identification, so someone says, I'm a woman, therefore I can compete in your volleyball team, they come in with a civil rights claim. And so what we're saying is, no, it should be specified to racial, not gender, all that other stuff. And there were all these other provisions as well.
You would like...
The number one objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family? Yes. That is the number one priority. We don't have to overthink it. Every number gets better for every community if dads are around. Every number gets worse when dads are not around. Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. And you know, for daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance.
This is very true.
And so right, you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. And so I'm glad to hear about the fatherhood initiative. And if I may speak to the men out there, you are a coward and a petulant child if you impregnate a woman and abandon her. You have a moral obligation to stay with the women of your choosing, hopefully in the confines of marriage. This idea that men can just abandon women and, you know, leave the consequences without any responsibility has been a catastrophe for our country. So that's my answer, and I'll say this. The Democrat Party does not talk about dads at all. The Republican Party, we are talking about how men need to be men again, in the home, take responsibility, provide for your family, and with strong families comes smaller government and a better country.
Thank you so much.
Now, this is the person they've been calling racist. This is the dude that they say isn't for black folks. I suggest y'all go and do your own research. I don't care who it is, whether it be Trump or Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell, Don Lemon, Maxine Waters, Jasmine Crockett. No matter what side of the aisle they're on, I suggest y'all do your own research. Because, man, if you take clips and you don't watch them in their whole context, it will make you out to be a fool. You will look like an ignorant fool to share a video and you don't have the full context of what you're watching. Because there's not anything in any of them videos that I played of his, and those are his typical debates that show that this dude hated black folks. Right. Or anybody. This dude was for everybody. He believed in God, he believed in family, you know what I'm saying, and he believed in the overall American way of life. Right. When they say, trust the science, he believed in the science. Hell and women, all these extra, alphabet y'all got, man, you live your life. But hey, man, if you're a person of God, none of that is included in religion.
Right. I think everybody feels the same. Nobody wants the world to me is already hell itself. Nobody wants to make the world more harder than what it is, right? I mean, the world by itself is just a contagious place. So everybody wants to do things positive moving forward to help make the world itself, the earth, the planet, whatever you want to call it, a better place. But at the same time, when he was like, well, dads or men, you are cowards for impregnating these women and leaving. Well, I always think the women are cowards for sleeping with them to begin with. You shouldn't be sleeping with a man that you ain't trying to marry, and you shouldn't be having kids with a man that you don't know he's gonna stay or not. But this is just coming from women. This is just coming from women and men who just meet each other on Tinder or Plenty of Fish, and they just have one night stands, and all of a sudden she wants to have sympathy because she's a single mom. And then you want me to bash him because he left his child and now the child's a bastard. All that could have been prevented. Again, ain't nobody better than anybody else. We're just talking about the narrative. All of that could have been prevented if they would have just took the time to get to know each other or use protection or see whatever. It's like nobody cares about the beginning. We're always arguing about the end results.
And the tragedy of it all is, you know who suffered the real consequences? Kids.
Yeah.
Kids. So, everybody talk about the younger generation, where the younger generation is screwed up because the older generation is screwed up. I mean, let's call it what it is, man. Y'all talk about people old and wise. No, they have absolutely failed. Grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. Because now we are in a better position because of them, but a lot of them were still pushing white racism and supremacy. We got to the point, Scott, you and I, based on choice, can do anything in this world. Not saying that people won't make it harder. Of course there's going to be people that don't like us for whatever reason that's going to make it harder. Of course. But we can do anything that we want to do. The moment we got a black president, there was no more excuses. We could do anything we set our minds out. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is, man, in order for us to have that black president, a lot of white folks had to vote for him. Because we're the minority.
Yeah. And think about that. So this man, Charlie, he is doing what you would want a lot of your black civil rights leaders to do, is to bring light on subjects like that. But if it's not profitable, they're not going to bring the light on that. Not saying they all the same or they all are different. It's just, I feel like as a grown man, I shouldn't have to tell other grown people right from wrong, right? So even at the end of the day, if having a two-parent household and marriage and faith is a positive way to move forward, common sense should tell these young people, stop making bad decisions like having unprotected sex with strange people. That to me is like, I shouldn't have to say that. I shouldn't have to come online and tell a 21-year-old and another 21-year-old Y'all don't know each other. You don't know if you have diseases. You don't know nothing. But yet y'all gonna get together, have unprotected sex, bring kids into this world, and then when one or the other decides to leave, then it takes somebody like him to be like, man, and we a single parent household. Well, I don't need this white man to tell me about single parent households. I knew it was gonna be a single parent household when I slept with this woman who I had no idea who she was. I knew that part was coming.
I think there are biggest issues, and I can understand why. They understand that, but I think it's the fact that we point to everything else but what's actually wrong. We just won't refuse to look at it and say, you know what? Yes, this is an issue here, because we all been through racism. But to say racism impacts me, hell no. No greater impact that I've gone through been like the impact of who I was born to, who birthed me. They had the greatest impact. Our parents. You know, like, there are some parents that get on you about school and they hard on you about education. And those parents, when you grow up, you see the significance of the power of a dollar, you know what I'm saying, the importance of reading, and the importance of research. Mm-hmm. If you have a parent that put that in somebody else's hands, you're not going to be as strong in that area. All right. Nope. Same with marriage. You know, like with mine, I tell them, man, look, you grew up in a two-parent household. There is no excuse why your kids at least shouldn't have that same ability. I don't want to hear what everybody marriages always don't work, and when that's on you. You got to do your research. It's on you to understand the significance of and the value of marriage. Mm-hmm. That's on you. But it's also on you to make sure that both, you know, that when that kid come in the world, the father is literally in the hospital and y'all married, y'all in a union.
Correct.
It's on you.
That's correct. And so sometimes I think some white people feel like blacks are their children. It's like we have to tell y'all, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And you shouldn't be telling a 40-year-old black man the difference between right or wrong, or a 30-year-old black person the difference between right and wrong. But they wake up every day and they still do whatever they want to do, right? Shoot themselves in the foot and say the white man held the gun. And that's not what happened. That's just not what happened. You shot yourself in the foot. The white man didn't do nothing against you. That job of these policemen, you made all these decisions, and today you want to be upset at the world for the decisions you made.
And that's where there's you know, a lack of communication or understanding. Is that we want y'all to be accountable for this. You know what I'm saying? Because we've gotten here. Things have gotten better. Is it perfect? No, it's never going to be perfect. We're in a world of sin. It's never going to be perfect. Never. You're never going to find 100% of everybody that like you. Some people, it's not that they don't like you. Maybe they having a bad day and they take it out on you. Mm-hmm. But you're never going to have everything go absolutely your way. Right. But if you're waiting to be accepted by people, you're going to be miserable your whole life. Speaking of miserable, I want to show y'all the aftermath, right? This is why I always, and Sky, I know you've heard me say this, and this is what I firmly believe in. I believe that people are inherently bad. I think they got good deeds in them, but I think they are inherently horrible people for the most part, until they show you otherwise. My proof of that? I was glad. I ain't gonna say I was glad this happened, but they absolutely showed me. You know, they gave me the content to show y'all. So without further ado, these people celebrating Kirk's death.
I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself fucking shot, because he's right. Empathy is dangerous to society. So no one should give a fuck that he's dead. He said it. I'm just saying his words. All I'm doing is using his words. You can't be mad at me for using his words. Empathy is a new wave thing and is very problematic. You right. You right. No empathy for you. Zero.
This is the dude cheering. Soon as he got, they hit him with that shot. This is a dude cheering. He's up here cheering right away.
Literally, boom, boom, boom. Can't you just breathe a breath of fresh air? Like, doesn't the air, doesn't the weight just feel lighter off of your shoulders? Can't believe it's 9:30. 2 p.m., 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This has been an all-day event. Don't you feel like the world was made just a bit of a safer place today? Hope Core, you evil fuck.
Breaking news, Charlie Kirk was in the neck. As of right now, I think his condition is unknown. And there are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people. So on behalf of everybody else, I don't know if he's gonna make a recovery or not. I don't know what his condition is. It like just happened as I'm filming this. I saw the video of it happening. I do not feel bad for him in the slightest, and I'm very, very much wondering what MAGA is going to react with. I wonder how they're going to make this about how black people shouldn't be allowed guns, or trans people. They're probably going to blame a trans black person. I don't fuck. But we can all celebrate because something really awful happened to a really, really awful guy. And again, if you're one of those dipshit people that are like, no matter what happens, you should never wish death on some... I'm gonna cheer and dance and sing.
Did you hear the news? Did you hear it? Mr. Potato Head himself got in Utah. I think he's still alive. What was he wearing? What was he saying to produce such animosity in people? Thoughts and prayers.
Okay, guys. So I would like to start a new movement called See MAGA, MAGA, because people like that respond to fear and terror and aggression, not logic and empathy and, I don't know, intelligence. It doesn't work for them. So fear works. So if we all get our guns and use our Second Amendment right and our common sense, at this point this administration is begging us to rise up and revolt. And you see somebody with a MAGA hat, pew pew. That's what we do. That's the way. It's the only way. Put them back in their basements, make them scared.
We never have to hear something new from his fucking mouth ever again.
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up. He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But this white on white violence, he died? Damn, B. Life comes at you fast.
Kirky sympathizers, why are you guys crying over one person when like literally hundreds of school children aren't walking on the planet either? Make it make sense to me. I thought you guys were pro-life. He pro-lived. He did everything he wanted to accomplish. He made everybody miserable. He finished his goal.
I just watched a close-up video of Charlie Kirk getting pewed in the neck. No fucking way he survives. So you know what time it is?
Absolutely tragic news on the Charlie Kirk front.
Apparently, he was doing one of his talks when a shot rang out through the crowd. And apparently, he got hit in the neck. How devastating. Now, of course, after hearing news like this, some form of memoriam is expected. So, in honor of his noble sacrifice, I am going to be getting absolutely blitzed tonight. Who's with me?
This says me when a racist bigot gets assassinated. And they don't even say assassinate. I don't know. Whoever spelled that, you need to go back to school.
But following up with what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hate.
So that's where we at now in America. We are celebrating the demise of people. You know what? I don't know if y'all been paying attention. People have been losing their jobs. There was a gentleman lost his job at Microsoft. There was a nurse that lost her job. These people they actually on TikTok, they ticked off a lot of conservatives, and they are finding the names, the place of residency of these folks, and their place of business and work. And they are calling up, getting people fired. That is actually a trend that's been going on the last week. So, people been.
If you happy that he's gone and you want to celebrate, do it in private. I mean, because you aren't gonna stop these people from being happy. You're not gonna stop them from celebrating. You're not gonna stop them from disliking that man. You're not gonna stop people from being happy that he's gone. There's gonna be people that don't feel sorry for his wife and kids. Just do it privately. I never wondered why people do stuff publicly, like the woman talking about the $3,000 in food stamps, the rappers that put money to their ears, people cheering because somebody's dead. Why can't you do that privately? Why must you seek attention for everything? I never understood that.
I understand it. You know what I think it is? I think a lot of people suffer from loneliness.
Yeah.
They're lonely. They're depressed. So
and miserable. Yes.
They're miserable. And they're seeking out attention. And the way they seek out attention, they run online, tell people things that they first and foremost should never come out their mouth. They snitch on themselves. We played the video last week where the girl was talking about herpes. She had chlamydia. I mean, people have gotten that emboldened where they could go and tell you things that you don't even ask them. They volunteer information. And so this is where it is, man. People cheering, you do what you want to do, but there's consequences. And then they're crying, talking about, I thought y'all cared about freedom of speech. It goes back to what me and Sky said. Yes, freedom of speech is free, but it's not free without consequence. Just like it wasn't free without consequence for Charlie Kirk, it's not free without consequence for y'all. You post something online, person see it, all of a sudden you can be without a job. Rent due, I don't know what you gonna do, but rent due. You just better have that money with rent cut. If you ain't smart enough to keep this stuff offline and you want to celebrate and post vile stuff about another person's death, it got consequences. I just wanted to show y'all this is where we
know why people don't see that, Damo. And I mean, there's people who are filming stuff at their job, or you work for the government or something, and you online talking stupid. I mean, you can't do that, man. You can't if you value your way of living, Yeah, I wouldn't do it. And if you found another job or you about to retire, I guess. But a lot of these folks are doing this knowing this is your only source of income, and you let some type of emotion come over you to where you lose your income or your way of living, and then you want to go here crying about I'm about to get evicted, they're about to repo my car. Like, man, it ain't that serious.
Man, there was a dispatch caller or a dispatch, Nashville dispatch caller. I don't want to say caller, but they take in the calls.
Mm-hmm.
She actually was on leave because of something she posted. There was a fire chief that also, man, he on leave. There, looking into him. There was a school teacher that lost her job. These are people with careers. They are risking their careers because they cannot control their emotions.
And it ain't worth it.
And I would love to say how unfortunate, but I think if you go in and you cheer anybody's death, I don't care who it is, right? You deserve, if you lose your job, it is what it is. You did that to yourself.
That's true. And again, whether he lived or died, y'all should just left it alone, kept it to yourselves, and keep moving. So you know how they say money exacerbates who you are? I still believe that, but I think social media exacerbates who you are too. Because a lot of these people are playing caricatures of themselves. They're playing a character that they would never do it in real life. And I just don't get it. Even no matter how much you hated the man and what he says, at least respect the dead, because if that was you that got killed, and I don't mean assassinated, that just got killed, you would want people to respect your family while they're grieving. Why would you come online and be happy for any human being that has died, that his wife and children watch live? Like, they've gone crazy. And it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I think people need to focus on the legacy that they're going to leave behind. I mean, you need to worry about how many people's lives you're going to affect when you out of here. Because we all got a time clock.
Yep.
So what legacy are you going to be leaving behind? Because we all going to meet that same fate. Maybe not in the way that he met his.
Right.
But all our time is coming. You know what I'm saying? And last but not least, this dude was celebrated around the world. This just wasn't an event that affected America. This event affected his family and the whole world. Because now his wife is without a husband. His kids are without a father. But a lot of people are hurt. There's a lot of people that looked up to this dude. Without further ado, man, let me go ahead and play that. And then we come back. We'll probably go ahead and close out the show. Man, this time went by quick. And this is the first time I think we've ever did a whole show on one subject. So kudos to us, man, for even making it, doing it. But this was like powerful. Really, if possible, I could have did a whole 3-hour show with this. But let me show y'all the impact that Charlie Kirk had on the world.
Charlie Kirk, dein Widerstand und dein Einsatz.
we lost a great one, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a historical moment. I know a lot of people don't. If you're not into politics, I'm deep into politics. I haven't been my whole life, but I have been in the last 10 years. I ain't even gonna say 10. I'm gonna say 8 years. You know, and so I follow a lot of his content very well. He left a lot of, just like Kevin Samuels, when Kevin Samuels passed, he left a lot of jewels for us to go back and watch. I advise you guys, man, to go and watch Four Debates with Charlie Kirk, man. You will learn a whole lot. Not just, you know, about him, but then, you know, man, it'll make you think about a lot of stuff. So RIP to him, and, you know, condolences to everybody that was close to him, his family, and definitely, man, his wife and kids. So.
Yeah. It just goes to show you, life is short. I know that's an old cliche, but it is. And be careful how you treat people. And sometimes you got to think twice before you open your mouth, because that might be the last thing you ever say in this world, right? But again, nobody deserves to be killed in cold-blooded murder. You know, it'd be different if he was attacking somebody in self-defense, but just to get shot because you're saying how you feel. There's a lot of people that feel like Charlie Kirk, right? A lot of people. And then there's a lot of people that don't care what he's talking about.
Right.
That shouldn't lead to violence, because either you gonna listen to him and accept his advice like your parents, or you gonna disagree like your parents and go do your own thing when you turn 18 and leave the house. Everybody has their own way of life and their own path, but it shouldn't have led to that.
And I also wanted to remind y'all this too, right? Because I've seen a lot of, well, what was all this? You know, flag have raised for George Floyd and this and this and that. Here's something I want y'all to notice. George Floyd, with this situation, y'all have not seen no buildings burning. Y'all haven't seen any riots. Y'all haven't seen any property being destroyed. None of that. For all the people that absolutely love this man, I'm talking about across the world, people come together in prayer. They have not come together in violence. That is the difference. You are who you hang around, and you are who you follow. So be careful of the company you keep, and be very comfortable of the people you follow. Because, man, they can lead you to become a person that you really are. But we can get wrapped up so much in our emotions about how we feel about certain things that we become something that we never thought that we would become. And so I know I'm going to leave with this, and then, Sky, I'm going to let you close it out. I would just say the only thing guaranteed in life is death. So, you know, as long as when you're on this half of the dirt and you go to sleep on this half of the dirt, claim victory over life and make the day count. I think that's the biggest message. Make each day count. The impact that we can have on the world is insurmountable. So have an impact on somebody's life. If you do that, even past life, you will live on.
Right.
People will talk about you. They still talk about Jesus. He been gone how long? They still talk about Harriet Tubman. She been gone. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. And then you got everyday people that, the only people that remember them is their close circle, and when that close circle pass off, they died with the people that loved them. So if the whole world love you, you'll continue on forever.
That's true. That is absolutely true. And you're right. You know, this was a good show. I'm glad you brought that to life, because again, I never knew who he was until after he got shot. So there's people like me who didn't know what happened or what the situation is. But, you know, again, thoughts and prayers go out to his family, friends, and loved ones, and all the people around the world who celebrated his ideology. And for those of you who disagree with people, it's okay to disagree, but it should never get to the point where you want to kill somebody or burn buildings or loot or steal and all this other stuff, because these are just material things. Material things will never make you happy. Never. It might bring joy in a short amount of time, but it'll never make you happy. But again, Dame, always thank you for allowing me to be a part of the Nashville Caveman podcast. Y'all, don't forget Inhumane Championship. Well, first of all, let me give my shout out. Shout out to Miranda G on Instagram. Shout out to Malfunction. Shout out to Kernan and the only people who talk to me online or whatever. Tonight, the D-Bling Radio Show, offtopradio.com. We stream on offtoprecords.no. Please join in tonight. Don't forget this weekend in Arkansas, Inhumane Championship Wrestling. Yours truly, the High Mania champion, will be there defending his title. And again, everybody knows Tuesdays are the best days of the week because of this podcast. And keep up with Mr. Damo on all his social medias because, again, the second annual Soul Driven Awards is coming in a few months, and y'all don't want to miss out on that.
Also, what y'all don't want to miss out on is we're working on an online app. So it's going to have the Soul Driven Sports Podcast, a chat box, up-to-date sporting news ticker, and an online swimsuit magazine. So we're working on that. I'm looking for models all over the world, not just the U.S. The first one is coming out of Colombia. So I'm looking for models all over the world, people that want to go ahead and promote themselves and also be a part of a swimsuit magazine. Long as the photos are professional, reach out to me, man, on TikTok, on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. My email is souldrivenmedia@gmail.com or souldriven, I think it's souldrivenmediallc@gmail.com. So go ahead, reach out to me if you are interested in being a part of course, you have to be 21 or older. I am not taking nobody younger than 21. If you're not the age of at least 21, no, it's a no-go. There's an age limit, so.
Well, congratulations on that.
All right, we out until next week when we get back to our regularly. We had some good stuff to talk about, but I was like, man, I can't miss this moment to talk about this.
Yes.
But y'all, same time on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, same time, same and Instagram.
Yes.
Y'all can catch us at 1 p.m. EST, 12 CST. Till next week, y'all. We
All right, y'all. Have a great week.